Hey everyone, I hope you guys are having a great day. It's Felipe. Sadly, Aviana wasn't able to join us today, but that's all right. If you guys remember, we looked at the question, who is God, last week and began our study into a daily devotional on the Bible app. Today we'll shortly go over day 2 since we studied day 2 in our youth group. We have our live stream every Sunday and we were actually studying the same devotional. So if you guys get a chance, join our Sunday live stream at 6:30. You won't want to miss it. It's a great time. So let's get into it. Day 2 showed us who God is by first telling us that God is the creator. In the beginning was God, and God created everything. He made the heavens and the earth, the stars and the planets, space, time, the universe. He made air, water, plants, animals, atoms, molecules, the northern lights, the Atlantic Ocean, and gravity. But finally, God made people. The first page of the Bible starts by telling us that before there was anything else, there was God, and that everything in the universe was created by God. Now you might be asking, how is this even possible? How did God exist before anything else? If God created everything, then who created God? And we'll be looking into that today. As the final, ultimate, supreme act of creation, God created us. When God created us, He made us special. He created us in His image. That means He created us to represent Him to the world. He created us with the purpose of ruling over creation on His behalf. In the beginning, God created you with dignity, with value, and with purpose. Out of all creation, God looked at human beings and said, "We are very good." We see this in Genesis chapter 1, verses 27 through 31. In our day 2 study, we read through the whole chapter of Genesis, or the whole first chapter of Genesis. And if you've never read through Genesis, I'd recommend you do. It gives you so much good information on how the world came to be and why we're here. Now beginning day 3 on our Bible plan devotional, we look at God is. God is what? Then that's exactly the point. God just is, period. God is existence, God is being, God simply is. There's this great story about Moses and his first encounter with God. Moses was a shepherd, and one day he was tending his father-in-law's sheep when out of nowhere he saw a bush that was on fire. And now it actually wasn't burning up, but it caught Moses' attention. He thought it was strange, so he walked over to the bush to see what was going on. God was using that burning bush to get Moses' attention. When he approached the bush, God called to Moses. God told Moses that He wanted to save the Israelites from their slavery in Egypt, and that God was going to use Moses to make it all happen. Moses was understandably nervous about what people would think, so he asked God to tell him what God's name was. God's reaction? I am. God said, "I am who I am. Say to the Israelites, I am has sent me to you." Moses asked God who He is. God's response, I am. Now a quick grammar lesson for you guys. Am is a form of the verb to be. Another form of to be is. God is literally telling Moses that He is, period. God is being itself. God is existence. This is obviously a pretty difficult concept to grasp. We usually just think of things either existing or not existing, but rarely do we think about something being existence itself. But that is true of God, because before there was anything, before there was absolutely anything, there was God. And this is why the question, who created God, is a ridiculous question. You can't create something that always was. You can't make something exist that is existence itself. So many people have stopped believing in God because the version of God they used to believe in was so much less than who God really is. That's why it's so important that we realize the truth about His nature. God is outside of space. He is outside of time. His ways are so much higher than our ways. He is infinite. He is eternal and immaterial. He is beyond our human ability to comprehend. He is bigger, better, and more beautiful than anyone can understand. God is existence itself. When we start to see God as being itself, as being Himself, we realize that God isn't just the creator of everything, He is also the sustainer of everything. Everything that exists is sustained by God, who is existence itself. There's this really cool conversation that the Apostle Paul had with some Greek philosophers. He told them that God gives everyone life and breath and everything else, In him we live and move and have our being. Let's take a look into the passages we talked about today so we can tie everything together. We'll turn to Exodus chapter 3, verses 13 and 14. Then Moses said to God, "If I come to the people of Israel and say to them, 'The God of your fathers has sent me to you,' and they ask me, 'What is his name?' what shall I say to them?" God said to Moses, "I am who I am." And he said, "Say this to the people of Israel, 'I am has sent me to you.'" Now we can turn to Acts chapter 17, verses 24 through 28. "The God who made the world and everything in it, being Lord of heaven and earth, does not live in temples made by man, nor is he served by human hands as though he needed anything, since he himself gives to all mankind life and breath and everything, and he made from one man every nation of mankind to live on all the face of the earth, having determined allotted periods and the boundaries of their dwelling place, that they should seek God and perhaps feel their way toward him and find him. Yet he is actually not far from each one of us. For in him we live and move and have our being, as even some of your own poets have said, for we are indeed his offspring." Guys, I hope these daily devotionals are helping you get into the Word, are encouraging you to just spend time with God each and every day. I know we have a lot of time on our hands at the moment, so just get into the Word, dive deeper into your faith. And if you guys have any more questions, you can always reach out to me, any leaders of the church. We've got some great resources for you, like Right Now Media. We've got our live streams. We've got a bunch of content for you guys, so just reach out.